Okay, taking the first clay off. Right guys, so now it's time to take off the resist. I've sprayed over the body. Sorry you've missed the beginning of this because I've been concentrating on the silicone moulding. So I sprayed the body silver, aluminium, then I put on the clay resist. Now I'm going to take it off, just got to scratch it in a few places, scrub it with this brush, and as I said before, as soon as I hit this water it just dissolves. There you go, there's a little bit of wear. Right, now that's going to show through. So I'm going to do that all over all the pieces I've done. I'm trying a slightly different sort of painting technique in this one. And this is the steel, which is still going to be the underbody, undercolor. There's still going to be gunmetal and a body colour to go on top. But I need to know where the shiny parts are, and the easiest way to do that is to take it off. So when I mask again, and I know it seems counterintuitive, but it's the easiest way to do it, I'll be able to see what I'm doing, where my wear marks go, and mask accordingly. So I'll do this, get back, show you what it looks like. Okay guys, okay, here we go. Scrubbed it off a bit. Now I'm just struggling to find an area that I can show you, because we're working with silver on silver, but basically just there you can see a big chip, bright silver. And what I've done a few hours, I've put these marks of silver, a bit too uniform I think, but anyway. So what I'm going to do now is mask them plus a bit of surrounding metal. Right, so it's like the heavy wear area, then the lighter wear area. There's a big area in the trigger guards, and around these parts, these areas that got bumped. I'm just trying to get the light non-reflective just about there. So that'll be masked a bit bigger than the actual size is. Then I'm going to go back to black spray paint for the metal, which will be this area, the trigger guard, this area in here. And then I'm going to use that tan, that cove I used on the last gun because I think it looks good. So I've got to do all the gun, scrub it, remask it, then I'll spray it. When I'm back there, when we're done, we'll see. Bye. Okay guys, just finished cleaning some of the parts, and here is the actual effect I'm looking for. I'm trying to get it so you can see how heavily worn the metal looks. Now when I come back to masking that again, that'll all get covered, plus a little bit around the edge, a few other odds and side spots. So basically I'm going to mask everything that's bright silver and a bit more. So that's the whole reason for this sort of technique. But as you know, on the last gun, on the 8 rifle, the two different metals didn't show really well, so again, I'm going to paint this black first. Alright. Okay guys, there's the entire gun laid out. All the first layer of clay masking has been removed. You can see, like in heavy weather areas, you can see how it's supposed to look. See how see a lot of shiny stuff through there. So the next thing will be to mask all that again with clay, but at this stage, because I used water to scrub it clean, there's going to be little air bubbles, little water droplets I missed around the place. I've dried it all, but I'm going to let it air dry for a couple of hours. Then mask it with the clay, spray it with the black straight away. I'm going to spray the entire thing black. That way, when I do the buff over the certain areas, the black will act as a counter shading. So we'll get a little bit of depth there, so the yellow won't be so solid and harsh looking. And that way I also only have to mask once, just mask off the areas I want to spray yellow and then remove it when it's done. Okay, talk to you again soon. Okay guys, right, as you can see, I hope, you see some roughness under the paint there. That's the clay mask. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to decide all the areas I want to look like black rubber mounted, like on the grips here, maybe following that line around and this line up the front, and mask those off, because what I want to do is I know I didn't have much success with it last time, but this soft flat iron I'm going to try again, but I'm only going to mis-spray it, like just one little coat, like when you initially spray a Nerf gun you can still see the original colour. So that's just to make it look a bit more metallic, and then when I pull off the clay, the silver underneath will bring it up, and then I can tone it down, tone it up as I need. But first it's the masking before I spray. So when I've done that, I'll get back here. Okay, we're back. So after a while, use my fast dwindling roll of 10mm masking tape, because it's I dropped it in the water, so it's losing its sticky. So just a few spots I've masked, just on the pistol grip. I want to look rubber, and the buttstock. So that's all. So now all I'm going to do is shake up this can, and I'm simply going to give it like one pass at most, just to put a bit of a metallic tinge on it, and then I can spray some areas white, put down some stenciling. Then when I spray the top coat and peel off the stenciling, I'll have the black underneath with the clay underneath and everything. When I pull it off, it'll get all automatically worn and scratched and everything, so I don't have to sort of keep masking and painting. So once I've done that, I'll get back to you. Bye. Right, now guys, just only started, only painted one bit, but just a little heads up with this paint. You may not be able to see the difference there. I hope you can. That's the one I've painted there. That's the one I haven't. When I started painting this thing was actually spraying out like almost coming out straight down from the spray, and there was a lot of crap around it. So just watch that with this one, with the Rust-Oleum. Probably some ingredient in the paint was dried on there. So it got a bit spotty on that first bit, but it seems to be coming out better now. So just something to keep an eye on. Okay guys, now what I've done is I've masked off everything I want to spray the tan colour. Then I've just temporarily masked this bottom bit to spray a white stripe there and a white stripe there. So what I'm going to do, I've found these at my local newsagent. They're little numbers and letters. They seem to work. This one seems to be printed on paper. This one seems to be printed on plastic. Not sure why, but we're going to see. Because when I spray this, if I'm correct, the letters are going to be fine, but the number's going to melt because the paint's solvent based. But we'll see what happens. So what I have to do is first take off that bit of tape. I use as my guideline, and then I'll take off this bit. So now I can spray the whole thing, and I can do it with the Cove colour. And once I'm done that, I'll show you how it looks. Right guys, everything's sprayed the Cove colour that needed to be sprayed. Everything's masked. The lettering hasn't melted, so that leads me to believe it is paper based, which is good. So I'm going to just leave that to dry thoroughly, because I put so many coats of paint on top of each other so quickly. I think I'll give it a full day to dry before I pull off the mask. I'm itching to do it, I know, but it's got to be done. Okie dokie. Talk to you again soon. Bye. Okay guys, big jump from where we were to here, but finished product, cleaned up, all the weathering done. Those stencils work fine, those letters work fine. Just put a little bit on, customs gun. Just noticing now it's much heavier weathered on one side than the other, but never mind. Still got to fit this. I can use it to cock the weapon, but there's something wrong inside. So what I've got to do is, of course, cut off the metal and work a screw in, I would say, from the other side into there. Yeah, and so I've got to pull the gun apart again, which is an absolute pain in the arse, these things. But anyway, so there we have it. So it's just the case of the brown wash tomorrow, dealing with a few little issues. So we're done. Talk to you again soon. Bye. Okay, hello Nerfers. Right, now, as I said, I wanted to finish this in 6 days, and I sort of have, except I had to wait a week for my little red dot sight to arrive, which is right here. And it's quite a cool little thing. You've got a red dot. Let's see if you can see it. Yep, there's a red dot. And you press the second button, you get a blue light or a white light. So that's pretty cool. Now, where to fit it? And that was a big problem. And as much as I wanted to fit it inside the housing there, I just couldn't make it work. So what I've done, I've taken a little sliver out of here, as you can see, and already filled it and painted it. And the intention was to screw that little bit there, a couple of screws, and then place that on top and hold it in place with a couple of zip clicks. But that's pretty silly, I believe. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I've done on the ape rifle with the Laser Ranger. I'm going to find some plastic that will fit around there and make two little C-clips, and then either screw them into that or screw them directly onto there, and I'll have them mount. And this is the perfect thing, a plunger. That's just about the right size. It's a little bit too small, but that's perfect, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that off after I pick it up, cut that off and cut out sections of it and make a clip, and I'll take film as I'm going so you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's get started. Right, so the first step is to cut my bit of plastic, and all I'm going to do is use my Dremel and go around that. Pretty simple. Now I could spend some time neatening that up, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it on the bench grinder and just push it against the plate. Done in a second. Back in a sec. Okay, there you go, done. It took longer to walk over to the grinder than actually do it. So now what I'm going to do is get my laser sight and get my little mounting bracket and work out where I can put these clips in relation to each. So what I want is I want to put the screws through there and there. So I've got plenty to work with there, so I'll just do some quick sketching with a pencil and work out where everything's going to go. Might use a pencil that actually works, which would be good. So those marks indicate where my rings are going to be, so all this area is going to be cut out. So I'll get on with that and then show you the next step. So I'm going to cut down to about there, cut down like that, cut down like that. Sort of complex, but you'll get the gist as we go along. So what I've got here is my X-Acto miter box, my X-Acto saw, and I'm just going to run through and do the cuts. I don't want to go all the way through. This will just, as long as I can hold it nice and tight, give me a uniform straight cut. Right, so you can see that pretty much. So I'll just go and do the rest of them and then we'll get back to it. Get a bit to show you. So that's the shape now. I've cut all these sections out. Now I'll just clean it up with a file, get it relatively straight and look reasonably neat. Then we'll cut a section out of the top here, like that. Probably be relatively wide, probably down to about here. That way we've got like a clip that this will just push into. So I'll get that done and get back to you. And there we have it. Cute little thing, bit rough, still got to sand it, but that fits in. Fingers can still reach the buttons. Cool. And that will go on the, just be screwed directly to the side grip once it's painted. And it's out of the way, you can still slide the grip on. And you've got access to it in a manner of speaking. Could have been better done, but you know, hey, last minute things. So, I'll show you that when it's painted. Bye. Okay guys, there we go. Done. My little holder. Just a little bit of clay and stuff I've got to chip off to get the colour underneath the silver, you know, all that sort of thing. Not a problem, but that slides in there quite nicely. I've got the feeling it's not quite straight, but it'll do. And if I turn it slightly, so the button's there, when you're holding it, you can activate. And there we go, activate the red light. So, that clips on like that. We now have our little machine gun with a red light. Yeah, there you go, you can see it flashing around there. Okie dokie. So, the M8422. Cool, done. Finished. What's next? I have no idea. See you later.